Hi, and welcome back to the Jen and Sean Show. I'm Sean.
I'm Jen.
And we're here to tell you about the things to do around Melbourne, interstate, and sometimes overseas. We go and do the stuff and come back here and tell you whether it's worth your time and worth your money even to go and do that particular thing. Today, what are we doing, Jen?
Well, we are talking about our prep for our second trip to Japan, or your second, my third.
Japan,
which is fast approaching. This is our planning and organisation journey and things that we've learned so far to help us with that.
Absolutely. My first trip to Japan was a complete eye-opener. Jen pretty much booked everything, did the itinerary. I helped here and there. But ultimately, it was a massive exercise of booking, scouting locations, getting the right flights, getting the right accommodations. And we learned a lot from, my first time. But this is going to be your third time going to Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we thought it'd be great to be able to share with you what we went through a few months before, a few weeks before, and a few days before in terms of planning your trip to Japan to get the best out of it. And ultimately, we've got a few tips here which we think will help you. And what's the first thing that we sort of looked at? This is probably 3 to 6 months out.
I started looking at flights, basically,
Yeah.
to keep an eye out. So normally Qantas have what they call their ready sale. And these, for the ones that I was looking at and the timeframes that we were looking at, is generally around about September, October. This was our experience when we were doing this for our last trip. So this would have been at the end of 2023. And we managed to get some pretty good prices on return flights. So this time around, we started looking again around about that same time, September, October. But
Didn't happen, did it?
It didn't happen.
No.
They advertised sales, but for what we were looking for, it wasn't really in that same kind of league as what we found the first time. So we'd booked a lot later this time than what we normally would or what we would have liked to. We did end up getting flights for almost the same price as what we paid last time, but the difference this time was that we basically had to use points to pay for an entire leg of the journey.
That's right. So some frequent flyer points is a great way to be able to cut costs down. You can save them up over the year. There's various methods to do that. But what we found was, and what Jen had said in the past, these flights came in at around probably, $1,000 return, typically?
About $1,200.
About $1,200 return. With the prices that we found this time, they didn't get down that low. And I put it down to the popularity of going to Japan now. I feel that a lot more people are aware of it, particularly in the winter, which is when we're going as well, which is off-season typically for a lot of tourists. But if you're into your snow sports, then
It's busy as.
this is crazy times.
The exchange rate for the yen as well, I think, has a big part to play in that. Because, again, when we booked last time, it was not doing too bad.
Yeah.
Whereas for the last however many months now, it's been quite low. So I think that could have influenced. I mean, this is all just my opinions. I don't know. I'm not an expert on what goes into setting airfare prices. But from looking at all the different factors that came in, I think maybe that was something that influenced it. But anyway.
So a good way to track flights is what I did as well. There's Google Flights, so you can put in there the legs that you want to do and where you want to go, and you can get email updates when it drops down in price. Really, you can also get a lot cheaper flights if you book multiple legs to actually get there. I'd prefer, and we've preferred, to try and go direct wherever possible, because when you're looking at an 8-hour flight, as soon as you add in a leg, that's a minimum 2 to 3 hours. And a lot of the cheaper flights were dropping you into Townsville.
Generally in through Cairns as well.
Cairns, that's probably the more accurate place.
Yeah, other stopovers. And you'd be looking at 23 hours in transit for what's essentially a 10-hour flight. So we kind of just went, no, line in the sand, we're not going to do that. Which is...
In saying that, we do have one stopover, which is in Sydney on our first trip. Sorry, the first leg over. And that's not too bad. We'll still be riding high on the adrenaline of going It's a short leg to Sydney.
It's pretty much land, get off the plane, get on the shuttle bus, go to the international terminal, check back in, and you're back on the plane again. It's only an hour and a half, so that's quite doable.
Yep. Maybe at the same time as you're looking at flights is to really try and set a budget.
Yep.
Set a budget for what you want to be able to spend on the total trip. And we'll give you some hints and tips today on what our budget ended up looking like. We were able to get, $1,200 return.
$1,200 return, yeah.
Each.
And people will, a lot of people talk about going Jetstar and things like that, which again, no issue with that, that's fine. What we looked at because we're going to the snow as well and we're taking our own gear with us. So with the budget airlines, when you get the cheaper tickets, often it doesn't include luggage. It doesn't include any meals on the flight, doesn't include luggage. By the time you start adding in baggage costs, you're looking at around about the same cost as if you booked with a slightly more expensive airline to start with that's got a baggage allowance included. So we had to take that into account as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're looking at about 3 to 6 months out, flights is number one. The second one is getting your passports in order.
Yes, that's kind of important.
Yeah. Without that, you're not going anywhere.
No.
Japan doesn't require a tourist visa for Australians, so that's one less bit of paperwork you have to worry about. But make sure your passport is definitely up to date and has a minimum 6 months left on it.
Yep.
Otherwise, you can get caught out. The cost of them is actually increasing.
Yeah, hasn't it?
I did read that the Australian government is going to hike the renewal of a passport, or the very least of getting a passport, up to close to $500.
Well, I think I did mine last year before. Maybe it was just before we went last time, and that was up near $400 for that one.
Yep. So budget in for that and make sure it's all in order before you go across.
And give yourself enough time. Allow for that as well. Don't be leaving that till the last minute to organise, or if your passport's going to be expiring, get it renewed and give yourself at least a couple of months before you go, in case there's some sort of delay with postage or processing, or you get someone difficult at the post office that doesn't like the way that your passport photo's been clipped with a paper clip. Just saying.
Love your Aussie pose. Look, we've talked about quite a few things to do leading up to your trip, but one of the things that you should probably do well before that, even 3 to 6 months out, is learning some of the language.
Yes.
We have been taking a Japanese course done by Cheney.
The lovely Cheney Japan. You can follow her channel and see her journey. She's an Australian who's moved over there, bought a house, and is experiencing life in Japan. And she's also running Japanese language courses. She's a Japanese language teacher. So we've been doing that for a few months now. There's another podcast that I found as well that I've been listening to on my drive to work every day and practicing my sounds and things like that. So yeah, definitely helpful to have a few key phrases down. It will go a long way.
It really will. They really appreciate, the Japanese people really appreciate if you make an effort.
Yeah.
Don't assume they speak English. They probably do. But
assume they don't, I think, is a better way to go.
Yeah.
And actually try to, fit into their culture and do their ways, I think, is a much better way to go.
I 100% agree. Yeah. Because even if you totally mangle it, they're super patient. They'll get the gist, and you'll actually have a really good time working it out. And it's typically at restaurants and things like that where you might be.
And markets.
And it's so much fun.
Oh, heaps of fun.
Yeah.
Really good.
I was looking at probably 6 months out minimum. Start learning some phrases. Everybody learns a little bit different. So whether it's a podcast or writing the phonetics down, sounding it out.
Maybe have a little list on your phone in your notes app or something on your phone that you can sound key phrases out and know what they mean. If you can read some of it as well, it's going to be really helpful. Knowing things like what the symbol, particularly when it comes to using public restrooms, male and female. You definitely want to know what those symbols are. Stop, go, things like that, traffic signs, all the basics. If you can recognise those, it's going to be really helpful.
So you're looking at, say, 1 or 2 months out, or it could even be a little bit further, and accommodation is really the key. And this fits in with your budget because you'll be working out, well, how long are you going to stay for? Because we go over for snow activities, we're spending close to 6 nights on snow. But we love Japan, so we want to do as much touristing around as much as possible. And last time we did that, and we ticked off a number of cities, didn't we?
Well, we did the Golden Triangle last time.
Ooh, I didn't get any drugs from the Golden
No, no,
Triangle.
no. So started in Tokyo, then we went to Hakuba for a week, and then we went down to Osaka and did Kyoto, and then came back. So that's the main cities that people tend to do on
Golden
their first trip
Triangle.
through, which fully understand why, because it was amazing.
It really was.
Yeah.
And if you're following along, there's lots of photos and videos from our first trip, and we're going to be uploading a lot more as we go through our trip this time. So check that out as well. The stay in the snow needed to be booked probably first. We really booked that to then create our trip around
Yep.
it. So if you do have one particular area you're going to stay in, my recommendation is locking that in first so you get what you want within your budget. It's available.
And you can build everything else around it, then you know where you've got to go.
Exactly.
Yep.
And we really had a budget in mind, which was really less than $100 per head per night. In fact, well under that. So our budget drove us. And some of the considerations that we felt that we needed to look at.
So, well, location is the first one. Particularly if you're thinking Hakuba, we want somewhere that's close to the shuttle buses because they've got shuttles that run all throughout the town that will take you to all of the different ski resorts. You need somewhere close to that. You want somewhere that's kind of central because you're going to be walking to most places. We're not hiring a car in Hakuba, so we want to be close to restaurants. We want to be close to a supermarket, to a convenience store, things like that. So you need to look at your proximity and your distances, also taking into account the fact that when you get there, you've got luggage with you. You need to be able to get that to where you're staying. Now, we do use Black Cat Yamato luggage forwarding service in Japan. So they are incredible. Absolutely fantastic service. Cannot
They're a
recommend them enough.
luggage forwarding service.
It's a transport service. They do freight. They do everything. But essentially, when we get to the airport, so when we land, we'll go straight to the Yamato transport counter, fill in the waybill, which I've actually translated into English and screenshotted on my phone so that I know what I have to fill in on the form and what goes where.
Might even try and put a picture of that up.
That
as
was
well.
really important last time. But essentially, you book that in, tell them where you want it to go, and they will transport it. So by the time we get to Hakuba, our snowboard bag will be there waiting for us because we're doing 2 nights in Asakusa this time. So that gives time. I think they recommend allowing 48 hours for your bags to get to where you need to go, but brilliant service, and it saves us having to drag that around with us because it is quite big and bulky. But we'll still have suitcases. Yes, they've got wheels on them and they can be pushed through, and it's really not that unusual to see people wandering around with giant suitcases in Japan these days.
It's really not. And a bit of a segue, we'll circle back to the accommodation piece, but just on the luggage, pack light.
Yes.
Plan to pack really, really light. Yes, you'll get a luggage allowance for taking your luggage over. I think 30 kilos per person per head. But what we found is that we overpacked. We had way too many clothes, too many accessories and things like that. Yes, there's key accessories you should take, and we'll go into that. But
you're never going to use all the things that you need. That you think you're going to use. So essentially, what we do now is pack for about 3 days worth. Have about 3 or 4 changes of clothes, and layers are your best friend. So the Uniqlo Heat Tech range, not sponsored, not promoting, but their gear is amazing. It is lightweight. It keeps you warm. So essentially you can do a long sleeve one of those, t-shirt over the top, have a lightweight jacket, like a puffer jacket or something that will squash down and roll down quite small. A comfortable pair of walking shoes because you're going to be doing 20,000 odd steps a day.
I would say a broken in pair of shoes
Don't wear new
that are
shoes.
really comfortable. Don't take new shoes.
No.
The average step count is probably 15 to 17,000 steps, which equates to about 9 to 10 kilometres.
Ours was like always
walking.
over 20,000.
Exactly. There's a lot of walking.
Yeah.
And that's great to get around because everything's pretty much central, particularly if you do book accommodation that's close to a train station, which is very easy to do.
Yep.
And if you have the medium-sized suitcases in a backpack, not lugging ginormous suitcases, you can easily walk 10 minutes from a train station to get to your accommodation. Particularly in the city, it's typically very flat.
Yep.
Walkways, and getting there is super easy. But a lot of people, I feel, will balk at doing a 10-minute walk because they think, it's too far away.
It's
but
really not.
honestly, it's actually a really good way to find your bearings straight off the bat.
And explore the city
And
too.
explore.
Look around, and there's always something to see and something going on. So it really, 10 minutes is nothing.
No, and Google Maps is your best friend, honestly, as a big piece.
Definitely.
And just with packing light, there are washing machines almost always
Everywhere.
free as well in your hotel, everywhere. So it's really easy to just chuck a load in,
Yep.
dry it out, and you're away.
And if they don't have one, there's coin laundries all over the place, and it's a few hundred yen to run a load through. They've got those fancy machines too that's got the automatic detergent dispenser, so you don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
You just pick the cycle that you want. We had to use Google Translate for that last time,
Yeah,
but
we
that
did.
was okay. It worked fine. And you put the load on about 20-25 minutes, and it's also got the drying cycle with it, so you can go and look at all the interesting bento boxes and sake section in the supermarket.
So luggage is a big thing. Pack light, packing cubes.
Yep.
Come on, you're the queen of
I
packing
love my
cubes.
packing cubes. Amazing. I'm going to get everything into 2 this time, and yep, I'm going to nail it. They're the best thing ever. You can fit so much stuff in there. They squash everything down, compress it all into your suitcase, and then it leaves you a lot of room to bring home more souvenirs.
But what are some of the other key things when you're looking at accommodation?
So particularly in Japan is the room size, and Japanese hotel rooms are
Notoriously
generally small.
tiny people.
Very, very tiny. Our first one, when we stayed last time we were in Shinjuku for 2 nights.
Oh my God.
And it was a lovely hotel, but the room itself, you walked in, you had the bathroom on your right, then all of a sudden you were in the bedroom area. Now, we couldn't have our suitcases open on the floor or even stored on the floor to be able to walk around. So you'd have to open your suitcase up on the bed, get out what you wanted, then do it back up again and slide it underneath the bed. That was the only way that you could actually manage to walk around it in the room. The hotel in Osaka was the same, but that bathroom was huge in that one. So that actually took up, if they had made that smaller, you could have had suitcase storage. Lovely hotel though, like it was beautiful, but the rooms are very, very small.
And that's pretty much across the board.
Yeah.
So there's no point probably complaining about it.
No,
because
it's definitely not a criticism. It's just, it is what it is, and it's something to be aware of, because I think when you're, traveling over here, generally rooms are quite spacious, they're quite big. It's the opposite over there. But then you also need to look at, okay, well, you're not going there to sit in your room all day.
No,
You're
and
sleeping in
if
it,
you're only there for 1 or 2 nights,
you can make it work.
It's pretty bearable.
Yep.
But if you're there for a longer stay, look for the square meterage. I think the one that we had then, where it was really, really small, what do you think the square meterage
I
on that
reckon
was?
maybe 15.
15 square
12
meters.
to 15. It was quite cozy. So this time we were looking for something between, say, the 18 and 25 square metre. The one that we've booked for Kyoto, I think we got really lucky with that. Is that the 34 square?
Yeah.
34 square metre. We've actually managed to find an apartment that fit within our budget, which was amazing. The Asakusa one, I think, is still a little bit on the cosy side. That might be around the 20 square. But again, we're only there for 2 nights, and we're not going to be spending that much time in it. It's literally a place to store our stuff, sleep, shower, and get ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't consider the capsule hotels. Way too small. I would never fit at 6'5". So the whole ambience of that would probably be lost.
And I kind of still can't get past the fact that it would feel like you're sleeping in a coffin, so I'm not that keen on it. I'm not there yet. Maybe one day, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
And I'm all right with that.
The ryokans, which are the traditional inns, do come with a price tag. They look amazing, and one day we will definitely do one. But typically they are located a little bit further out than what we're after, and the cost is a little bit prohibitive. Not by too much, and it looks amazing if you were to stay in a traditional ryokan. So that's on the bucket list, but sadly not this time. You can also do hostels. That's primarily shared amenities, small rooms or even shared rooms. So you can do that on a really, really tight budget. You can do Airbnb, but we kind of excluded that mainly because what was your thoughts on Airbnb?
I'm not opposed to Airbnb. We use them quite a lot here. Just for the international factor, for being away from home, and just, I don't know, I just would prefer to go through like a registered hotel where you've got service desk staff, amenities, things like that, that if you need something or you're not sure of something or something goes wrong, you've got someone there that you can contact straight away. So yeah, I didn't really look at Airbnbs this time. I know that there's a lot out there. And again, they're probably perfectly fine. It just wasn't what we went for this time.
But there's so many options in the cities, so that's why we've gone with things that have ticked our budget, centrality, square meterage, and they look good from the outside from a Google Street View as well. So that's quite exciting. All right. So you've got your accommodation nailed down, your airfares are booked. Next is looking at, how do you get around? And Japan has well-renowned best transit system.
Ever.
Hands
down.
Anyway.
Amazing.
And to prove that, once you're there, you look up to go on a train to a destination, and Google Maps will tell you which carriage to get in, which door to get in,
where to get off,
how
long it's going to take you to walk from one platform to the next, what train you have to get on, what platform you have to stand on, what carriage to get on,
which exit to go,
which exit to get out,
for your closest destination,
how much it costs, everything.
It all helps. And when you're on there, it's clean, it's quiet, it's fast, it's efficient,
it's organised.
It's amazing. But how do you get onto these wonder buses of the rail? Well, what you need to do is get yourself a ticket. And what are the ticket options?
Well, you can go old school and go up to the ticket machine and put in your coins and push some buttons and get a ticket, which we've done. Or,
pain in the ass, people.
Oh, it's the novelty's there though, but
it wore off pretty quick.
It did. Easier option, much more convenient, is to get a Suica card. That's the most popular one in Japan that you can use pretty much everywhere. If you have an iPhone, you can download this as a digital card through your Apple Wallet, and it works a treat. I did that last time because there was still the chip shortage when we went last time, so you couldn't actually get Suica cards that
potato
easily.
Chips,
no.
Microchips.
Those chip things on the doovies, yep. They have Passmo is another brand. You've got the Icoca card, which we picked up in Osaka. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong.
So
most of the major ones.
Major rail stations will have them.
I know that I think Shinjuku have got them. Both of the airports, you can pick them up there as well. And then most of the major train stations, you can get them there. Yep.
And that's just tap and away you go.
You preload it through the machine. If you've got the physical card, you can load it with, you can put money onto it at the machine at the station. If you've got the digital wallet, you just transfer it over like a B payment. It's so easy. And
while we were travelling around a lot of the cities pretty centrally, when we were doing longer distances, we used the Shinkansen or the bullet train, which was a different experience.
And you still need to get a ticket from the machine for that.
You do. There is a lot of commentary about the JR pass online. If you're doing a lot of extensive travel that could be well worth your time. But
it used to be.
Yep.
But they had a price hike, I think, last year, and it went up by like 70%.
Ouch.
So majority now of trips that you're doing, it actually doesn't work out cost effective to get it. You're still better off just paying for the legs of your journey as you go. Used to be a good option though, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, okay. Transport, tick. So if you've got an Apple device, even a bigger tick. I felt a little bit robbed by not having that and having to pull out a card like a pleb to get through, but it is what it is. A big part of Japan and planning for Japan, I find, and one of the most exciting is planning your activities.
Yes.
There's so much to do. Last time when we went, there was a few bucket items? Bucket list items, people.
He's so excited he can't speak.
Oh, I know. And that included Universal.
Yes.
It included Team Lab Planets.
Ghibli Museum.
Plan your activities out. And why it's important is not just because it's exciting to see where you're going and what you can do, but from a budgeting perspective, you should be definitely looking at how much some of these things cost. You go to Universal, you are going to drop a ton.
Yep. You got to look at how to get there as well. Some of these are out of the way, which we found with Ghibli.
Yep.
That was a bit of a journey to get there.
Train, bus, walk. into and a walk. Yep. But with the activities, you're going to find that some of the activities you need to book online, but months in advance. Ghibli Museum needed us to book online when there was a specific window that was open.
It was the 10th of the month before you wanted to go, and it was a specific time, which I think was 10 a.m. Japan time. And you had to, there was a whole rigmarole. It was like being in a Ticketek queue trying to get concert tickets. That's how I liken it to. But you had to register on the website first, which again was a little bit of a challenge because there was the Japanese website, then trying to translate that back into English. It was a bit of a saga. The tickets for that were only $10 each.
Yeah.
Like they were next to nothing. We did manage to get tickets for that. So again, that was something that we did quite early on. And that then dictated what we would do on the other days that we were staying in that area. Because once we had that locked in, it was like, okay, well, what are we going to do on this day or this day? Because we had that one specific thing. But yeah, definitely sort that out early and make sure that you're across any specific ticket requirements. I know with the theme parks, particularly with Universal, a lot of their... is it the timed entry passes or those specific ones that you can get where
It's
you...
the fast passes,
Yeah,
essentially.
they sell out really quickly.
Yeah, the limited supply.
Yeah.
And while it is true that there are some free fast passes to go to Universal to get on the rides, because if you can imagine, if you just rock up and get a standard ticket and you're only there for one day, you could be lining up for 3 hours just to get onto one ride. If you've got multiple days, look, maybe wing it and don't splurge on a fast pass, because getting a fast pass essentially doubles the price of your day, and that's without any food or any souvenirs, which you're going to want as well.
Yep.
With Universal, we were there for a day. That was my big splurge in getting the fast passes, because we wanted to be able to experience as much as we could in one day, see the rides and go on the rides that we wanted to.
And have butterbeer.
And get shark hats and
Harry Potter wands.
and be really weird.
Yeah.
And it was great. And it
So
was a
good.
really, really good day. But it was because we booked in advance. We worked out where we were going. It was a full day. And, it was planned. So that
And
worked out pretty well.
a lot of people, I think, get a bit nervous about trying to book tickets. I see a lot of different forums that we're in when people will talk about, I did this through Klook, did that through Klook. I went straight onto the USJ website and bought our tickets directly through there. I had no problems whatsoever. It was so easy. So
Money is a big thing, and we did touch on it before in terms of looking at exchange rate. And a lot of people ask, well, when's the best time to exchange your money? There's probably no best time to exchange your money.
When the yen is low.
Yes. So what you want to be able to do is get your best bang for buck, and that's looking at the exchange rate. But there was one particular card that we ended up using more than anything else while we were over there.
Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about watching the exchange rate, and the opportunity that we have to keep an eye on that most days is while we're at the gym, because generally that's when we're there of a morning and sunrise will be on, and they have that section where
The
they run through
finance
the
section.
exchange rates.
Yep.
So as soon as we see that and go, oh, look what the yen's doing, that's a good time to transfer some money. But sorry, digressing. The Wise card.
Wise card.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
The Wise card has a lot of low fees. It initially for free, you can get it as part of your Google Wallet or Apple Wallet.
Yep.
You can load your own local currency, Australian, and transfer it over to Japanese yen via the app.
Is right.
That's right. And they have really good rates, really low fees, but probably the best part is you can use it anywhere in Japan.
Yeah.
And there's a few caveats to that, but it meant that we could also withdraw money if you had the physical card. And I think it cost $5 to get a physical card. And that in itself, the combination meant that you're covered in all instances, because I did find that tap and pay, even with Wise, wasn't accepted everywhere. They might have had electronic payment, but they may have asked to put the chip in or do a swipe.
Yep.
The other side of it as well, you can use the Wise card to withdraw cash.
Yes. Now, ING also, if you've got your account set up right with those, have no international fees. So you can also use that if you're withdrawing cash in chunks. There's no fees on that one as well. That's something to keep in mind. There's a lot of accounts out there that may be like that. So just make sure that you check with whoever you bank through, or even look at a couple of different options to see who's got the best deals when it comes to international transaction fees.
And when you're talking to your bank at the same time, tell them you're going on a trip.
Yes, always do that.
You can do that typically through a lot of the normal bank apps, but if you're not that way inclined, pick up the phone, tell them you're traveling, so that when you do try and make a transaction,
they know it's you,
it
and they're not
doesn't
going
get
to try and
flagged
block
by
your
the
card.
Falcon or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So you can still keep on travelling and not
Yep.
have to call up banks from overseas and
Yep.
try out the international number that we've always wondered about.
I haven't had to do it yet.
No.
Phone service as well is another one. There's a couple of different options. I'm actually going to look into an eSIM for this trip just to see whether or not it's worth it. Previously, whenever I've been overseas, all I've done is my phone is with Optus and they have an international pack, I think they call it. Works out to be, is it $5 or $10 a day? I'll have to
it's
double check
$5.
that. $5 a
Yeah,
day.
it's on par with
And it's like 10 gig or
Vodafone.
something. I've never run out of data, and what they will do is actually pick up on the local carrier. There was a couple of times I think that we got caught out where with weak signal or dodgy signal and we had to hotspot, but most of the time it worked pretty well. So if you don't want to mess around with having to get an international SIM card or anything like that, there is the option too of just using your local carrier depending on your plan and who you're with. Yeah,
Definitely worth looking into because you will use your phone a lot. It's pretty much an essential tool
Yep.
for not only just taking all your wonderful photos and videos,
getting around,
but getting around,
paying for things, Suica card.
Yep. Google Translate as well,
Oh,
looking for
best
what,
friend.
because you want to go off the beaten track, which isn't hard to do. You want to be able to translate some of those menus. You want to be able to look up some of the phrases that you want to say back to the locals so they don't think you're a total noob, which I am. But
Not
it does,
total.
but it does help in so many different ways. So suss out your phone, take a what is it? Backup battery?
Power bank.
Power bank.
Mobile battery charger. Have that with you.
Bit of essential, so you
Yeah.
can carry it around with you in
We
your
nearly
backpack.
got caught out last time.
Yes, we
trying
did.
to get back and watching the battery icon on my phone going lower and lower and lower.
Yeah.
And didn't have it with me.
Because technology can sometimes be a bit skew-if, but if you don't know where you're going and your Google Maps drops out, you can be in a bit of bother.
Yeah.
So having a power bank is a real critical piece of kit to have in your bag. 100%. Before we get down to probably the last week, you also want to look into your travel insurance. Travel insurance for trips of this size is essential.
Yep.
Even more so if you're undertaking in some adventure activities like we are, like snowboarding, which does pump the premium up.
Yep.
So you need to do your homework. The worst thing in the world would be if we did injure ourselves and we weren't able to continue our trip and we were left out of pocket and had to try and arrange flights to get home. Read the fine print, work within your budget. There are a lot out there and they're all very competitive.
There's a ton out there. Really
And-
do your homework.
Yeah, and with the time of doing that at least 3 weeks before your trip, you'll give yourself enough time to work out which one's going to fit your budget and fit your activities.
Incidentally, this is where we're up to now because we're about 3.5 weeks out. We're still going to
Correct.
decide on travel insurance. But we'll get there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
some quotes. We're good.
Yeah, there's a
good.
short list.
Yeah.
Just make sure there's no major events on that could actually disrupt what you're going to do for that particular day or go in that particular area. There might be a festival going on, or what we found, there was a marathon running in Osaka, was it?
Yeah, but that was cool.
It was cool because we're going to the market and
But
you
we were
look
there for
between
the-
the buildings. And there'd
It
be
was
people
actually
jogging.
the Osaka Marathon, and we had no idea. It was like, what's going on here? Except when we needed to
Cross the street.
cross the street down the end of, I can't remember the name of that big market stall. It's where you come down into Dotonbori.
You've researched your place. You've learned some of the language. You've got your money. You've got your insurance, accommodation tick, flights tick. Everything's coming together. 1 week before travel. Packing.
2 packing cubes. Easy. 3 changes of clothes. Done. Move on.
All right. So lightweight clothes.
Lightweight clothes. So,
layers.
yes.
You've touched on.
It's, look, even in winter, we found last time, yes, in Hakuba it was cold because we're at the snow, but we're wearing snow gear 90% of the time. When you're inside, everywhere's heated, so not that much of an issue. When you're outside
Even the
walking
toilets
around,
are heated,
even the
people.
seats are amazing. Even when you're outside walking around when it's cold, you're still not freezing cold. A good jacket will do, some decent pants will do, comfortable shoes.
Gloves.
You do want gloves. I took a scarf with me last time. It didn't even come out of my suitcase. I didn't use it once. It was a complete waste of space, so I'm not going to be doing that again.
Replace it with a beanie.
Yeah, beanie, wore the beanie. But yeah, maybe like 3 changes of clothes, 1 decent jumper. If you're staying at a lodge somewhere and you want to be comfy at night, maybe some like comfy jammy pants or tracky dacks or something like that. But yeah, keep it minimal and keep it light. And look, by chance, if you do need something when you're over there, you can just buy it there. The shops are everywhere, and it's a lot cheaper than what we found buying at home.
It's a matter of just packing light.
Yep.
Don't go overboard with the toiletries.
Buy them when you're there.
Yeah, exactly.
Don Quixote is your best friend. And what was that? Is it the Matsumoto chain of the pharmacies?
Yeah.
That really giant chemist thing as well. They've got some amazing stuff, and they have the best stuff over there. So yeah.
And you'll want that over your own.
Yeah. Although toothpaste, our toothpaste is better.
Good tip.
Even people I know that live in Japan say that they don't like the toothpaste.
Okay.
Australian toothpaste is better. So take your own toothpaste. Any medications that you need, take those. And I would recommend, if you want to have some sort of a ibuprofen, paracetamol, something like that, in case you get a headache or something like that, take your own. We had an incident coming home last time where there was a couple sitting in front of us on the plane. I think she'd injured herself the day before up at the snow, and they'd bought some painkillers from a pharmacy, not knowing what they were buying. And she actually took too many of them, and it made her extremely ill to the point where they actually had to medevac her off the plane when we landed. We had the cabin crew putting her on a drip, and basically there was 2 nurses on the flight. They were both tending to her and treating her, and it was because of this painkiller that she'd taken, because it's very different formulations over there. So just something to be mindful of is to have, if you want to take some Advil or some Nurofen or something like that, just have that with you as well, so that if you do need it, you've got your own product that you're familiar with.
Sage advice.
Yeah.
Look, travel pillow when you're going on the plane. I think that's an essential. They decided to run away and part company because
somebody forgot to pack
it's
them.
a pain in the ass to carry those little fuckers everywhere.
To their credit, though, when we realised what had happened, we were halfway out of Osaka leaving, and on the train, and I've looked, because we had them hanging off the carabiners on the backpack, and I've looked at Sean's backpack and went, where's the travel pillows? And we've both gone, oh.
Because I'm hanging stuff off me
everywhere. It's like a tree.
And yeah.
So when we finally figured out, I actually contacted the hotel in Osaka and said, we think we've left them, because everything got shoved under the bed, we think we've left them in the hotel room. And they said, yes, we found them. Now, they were prepared. This is how good the service is in Japan. They were prepared to get these 2 travel cushions, which I got from Temu, by the way, so we're not talking high quality, but they were going to put them on Black Cat and send them to us in Tokyo so we could get them back. But it's just that we were actually leaving the next day, and it was going to take 2 days for them to get there. So I said, look, thank you very much, but you can just dispose of them or do what you like with them. But that was amazing.
It was, yeah. Really good example of the hospitality over there.
But if you're going to take your travel pillows, just remember to take them with you.
Yeah, or stuff them in your board bag, or chuck them and buy some back at the airport, because they're a pain in the ass to carry around, I have to say. You can find some new fandangled ones, which might be a little bit better.
Yeah.
When you're actually out and about in Japan, just take some water.
Yeah, even that'll just buy some when you're out. There's vending machines everywhere.
Because experimenting with all the snacks and wonderful food they have out there is part of the joy of it. So
well, there's no bins.
Ooh, good point.
Have a plastic bag with you. Again, you can buy them everywhere. I think Daiso and most of the supermarkets have got the little travel garbage bags. Have a couple of plastic bags in your backpack so that if you are wandering around and you have something to eat or drink, you're going to have to take your rubbish with you until you can find a bin, because for such a clean country, there's surprisingly few public bins around the place. So just be mindful of that. You will need to take it with you.
And they do love their plastic.
They do love their plastic. You can get plastic coated everything.
Ultimately, when you're doing your activities, you'll probably have a couple of things that you've locked in that you're going to do. Stay flexible, though.
Oh, don't plan too much.
No.
Don't pack your days, because you're going to find that on the way to doing 1 or 2 things that you've planned, there's going to be detours and things that you see, or you go, oh, hang on, I want to go there, or what's that? So, yeah, stay flexible. Don't
plan every minute of every day. No. Have 1 or 2 things that you're going to do, and then remain flexible to just go into the wrong bar, or go into the wrong shopping centre, or go get lost for a while in a shrine, and just really soak it up. You don't want to be on a massive timetable to rush and do everything, because you'll burn out and
you still won't see everything. There's so much to see and do. It'll take many more trips, I feel.
It will.
Yeah.
Ultimately, take lots of photos, be respectful of the locals.
Yes.
Don't take really obtrusive photos of people in kimonos and things like that.
No.
Be nice, and you'll get that 10 times back from the locals.
It's about respect and manners. They're very polite people, and it's it's a lovely culture and a lovely history. I think that they've got to. It's really nice to actually immerse yourself in it and experience it for what it is, and not do any comparisons. Just go, you know what, this is amazing.
No,
yeah,
it really was. What we're planning to do is some blogs while we're away. So catch us on the video, see what's happened on that day.
But we're going to do something.
We'll work it out every day or every second day or wherever we're at, or at least one in every city that we'll be in.
Oh, look, even if it's a couple of shorts or something, or we'll be posting on Insta or something like that. There'll be stuff, definitely.
Absolutely. So there you have it. That's our breakdown of how you can pack and make the best of your Japan trip.
Put some links down below as well. There's a couple of really useful YouTube channels that I've been following for several years now. Obviously, Mr. Broad.
Abroad in Japan.
The guru. So, so much information on his channel. Really, really phenomenal. Sharla in Japan is another one. I'll put her down there below. And, of course, Cheney. So, the three of them have been really, like, staples for us in planning this out and figuring out what we want to do and where we want to go. So, I'll put all that down, plus a couple of other ones that I've sort of referred to a fair bit as well for getting information.
Brilliant.
The internet's a wonderful place.
It can be. It can be also scary.
Can be scary, but if you use it right, the information that's available is phenomenal. I can't imagine trying to do something like this, back in the days before we had the internet.
Perhaps not, no. But hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you've got some queries or questions, don't be afraid to hit up the comments, and we'd love to hear about your own experiences as well. Hopefully you'll join us on our journey as well.
This is a long one today.
It is. Maybe a two-parter.
Yeah.
This might be the second part.
This could be part 2.
Who knows? All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
See you.